Ever get that sinking feeling, a baggage claim? When the carousel stops, but your luggage is nowhere in sight. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a case about just that, about lost luggage.
And it went all the way to India's highest court for this sort of thing. It's fascinating. It all boils down to when an airline loses your luggage, what are they actually on the hook for?
Right, and this isn't, about a missing toothbrush or a lost pair of sandals. We're talking about a traveler, Monil Modi, and a missing bag with, well, really important stuff inside.
Including, get this, a project report. Months of work just gone.
So our deep dive takes us back to 2010. Monil Modi, she's boarding a SpiceJet flight, Chennai to Jaipur. Everything's normal, routine until, well, baggage claim.
Hmm.
Her bag, nowhere to be found.
And it wasn't just any suitcase. I mean, inside, something irreplaceable. That project report representing, like you said, months and months of dedicated work, just poof.
Gone.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
that feeling? It's enough to make anyone want to, do something.
And that's exactly what Monil Modi did. But what started with this one lost bag, it sort of snowballed. It set off this, this chain reaction of legal stuff. It spanned years.
Years, yeah. And it ended up finally before the National Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission,
Yeah.
the NCDRC.
Right.
It's the top court in India, but specifically for consumer issues.
So this wasn't just some case then?
No, not at all. This sets a precedent, you see. The outcome here with Mono Modi, it could impact how airlines, potentially everywhere, not just India, handle lost luggage. And more importantly, what options passengers have.
Okay, so the stakes were, to put it mildly, high. And in the initial court proceedings, things actually went Mono Modi's way. The lower courts, they ruled in her favor, awarded her a good chunk of money, not just for what was in the bag, but for the hassle, the stress, the whole ordeal.
You might think, well, that's that then, right? Justice served.
Yeah, case closed. But not so fast. SpiceJet, they appealed.
They did. They argued they shouldn't be on the hook for that much money.
And this is where I'm guessing those terms and conditions come in. Those things nobody reads when they buy a plane ticket.
Oh, you guessed it. Exactly. Yeah, those tiny lines of text we click agree, but who actually reads those, right?
Right.
SpiceJet's defense, well, it hinged on that. They said, and they're right, that standard airline terms, they usually have this limit, how much they're liable for per kilogram of luggage. It's a fixed amount.
So, even if your bag is full of, diamonds, they're only paying out for, the weight of a regular suitcase.
Kind of, yeah. And this is where it gets even trickier, honestly.
Okay.
SpiceJet, they pointed out this clause, lots of airlines have it, that passengers should basically not put valuables in checked bags at all.
Seriously. But, what if you're traveling for work or a wedding? You can't always avoid checking valuable stuff.
Right. And that's part of their argument. They said, it's like, Monil Modi should have known not to pack something that important.
So, wait, hold on. Are they saying it's her fault for not, meticulously reading the fine print? That doesn't seem right.
It's tricky, right? It does make you wonder, where's the line? And to be fair, this valuables clause, it's been tested before.
Oh, yeah.
Other cases, similar stuff, there's already a precedent, at least in India, and those went in favor of the airlines.
Meaning?
The court said, it's on the passenger, basically.
Yeah.
You got to be aware of the terms you agree to, even if they are buried in that wall of text.
So basically, ignorance of the contract, even if it's, intentionally confusing, is no excuse.
Pretty much. Which, for Monil Modi, unfortunately, is where this all led.
Okay, so what happened?
The NCDRC, they looked at the case, they saw those earlier rulings, and, well, that became a deciding factor.
They overturned the lower court decision.
They did. Ruled in favor of, you guessed it, SpiceJet.
Wow. So not only did she lose something irreplaceable, but this case, it kind of solidifies that those airline clauses, they hold a lot of weight.
That's one way to put it. Yeah, it set a precedent, no question. And it raises some interesting questions, about protecting consumers. In this world where, let's face it, we're always agreeing to things online without really fully getting it.
Right, right. It makes you think twice about just clicking accept without maybe, at least skimming the text. But let's be honest, those things are dense. It really does. So what can you do, right? Am I supposed to bring a lawyer or, become a lawyer just to understand a plane ticket?
Well, not quite. It's probably not realistic for everyone to become, experts in airline legalese.
Right.
But this case, it does highlight, I think, being savvy. You don't need to read every single word of those terms, but knowing the key things to watch out for. That's huge.
Okay, so what? Give me an example.
Baggage weight limits,
Right.
for sure. And especially, yeah, those clauses, the ones about valuable items, you want to at least have an idea of what they say.
So it's less about being a legal scholar, more about like being aware these things exist and knowing where the potential gotchas are.
Exactly. The more you know, even just generally, the better you can protect yourself. And this actually brings up another important thing coming out of this whole case.
Which is,
Travel insurance.
oh, right. Yeah, that's like the thing you get, but then hope you never have to use.
Exactly. But it can be huge for peace of mind,
Mm-hmm.
especially, traveling with anything valuable, whether it's like expensive or just sentimentally important. If it's lost, delayed, whatever, insurance helps.
It's like you pay a little upfront to avoid a potential disaster later.
That's the idea. It can cover medical emergencies too, by the way. All sorts of travel hiccups.
This is good advice. So, I mean, who knew a single lost bag would lead to all this, right? But it really does make you think about that fine print.
It does, yeah.
Be informed travelers, folks. It's what we're learning today. All right, deep divers. So here's something to chew on. After all this, does this case make you more likely to actually read those terms and conditions, really scrutinize? Or are you going to be like me and just get the travel insurance for peace of mind? Let us know what you think. Head over to our social media at The Deep Dive. Tell us your takeaways from this whole lost luggage saga. And hey, if you found this deep dive helpful, share it around, why don't you? Until next time, safe travels, everybody.